King Nebuchadnezzar, the mighty ruler of Babylon, was a troubled man. Despite his vast empire and immense power, he was plagued by a sense of unease that he couldn't shake off. His nights were restless, filled with dreams that left him more exhausted than refreshed. One night, he had a dream, a vivid and disturbing dream, that left him shaken and confused. This was no ordinary dream. It was so intense and vivid that it felt more real than reality itself. The images haunted him, and he couldn't escape the feeling that this dream held a significant meaning. The dream featured a colossal statue, magnificent and terrifying, but its meaning eluded him. The statue was made of various materials: gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay, each part distinct yet connected. The sight of it was awe-inspiring, yet it filled the king with dread. The king's advisors, his magicians and astrologers, were powerless to interpret the dream. Despite their knowledge and skills, they stood baffled, unable to provide the king with the answers he desperately sought. Their confusion only added to Nebuchadnezzar's frustration and fear. Frustrated and desperate, Nebuchadnezzar turned to a young captive named Daniel, a man known for his wisdom and his connection to the God of Israel. Daniel had a reputation for interpreting dreams and visions, and the king hoped that he could provide the clarity that his advisors could not. Daniel, blessed with divine insight, listened intently as the king recounted his dream. He paid close attention to every detail, understanding the gravity of the situation. This was not just a dream, it was a divine message that needed to be deciphered with utmost care. He understood that this was no ordinary dream. It was a message from God, a prophecy revealing the rise and fall of empires. Daniel realized that the different materials of the statue represented various kingdoms, each destined to rise and fall in its own time. With confidence and clarity, Daniel proceeded to unveil the secrets hidden within the king's nightmare. He explained that the dream was a divine revelation, a glimpse into the future that foretold the fate of nations. His words brought a sense of understanding and peace to the troubled king, who finally grasped the profound significance of his dream. Daniel described a colossal statue, an awe-inspiring figure of a man. Its head, gleaming with brilliance, was made of pure gold. The chest and arms, radiating power, were fashioned from silver. The statue's belly and thighs, sturdy and enduring, were crafted from bronze. Finally, its legs, seemingly strong yet strangely vulnerable, were made of iron mixed with clay. Each part of the statue, Daniel explained, represented a different kingdom, a different era in the vast tapestry of history. Nebuchadnezzar, the powerful king of Babylon, was the head of gold, the first of these kingdoms. But just as gold is followed by silver, Babylon's reign would eventually come to an end. The golden head, shining brightly, symbolized the Babylonian Empire, the kingdom Nebuchadnezzar ruled. Babylon, renowned for its wealth and splendor, stood as the dominant power of its time. Yet, Daniel's prophecy foretold its inevitable decline. After Babylon, another kingdom would arise, represented by the silver chest and arms of the statue. This was the Medo-Persian Empire, destined to conquer Babylon and establish its own dominion. Following the Medo-Persians, a third kingdom, symbolized by the bronze belly and thighs, would emerge. This was the Empire of Greece, led by Alexander the Great, which would sweep across the ancient world, conquering Persia and establishing a new era of Hellenic rule. The legs of the statue, fashioned from iron, stood as a testament to strength and resilience. Iron, known for its durability and hardness, was a fitting symbol for the might of the kingdom it represented. However, these legs were not made of iron alone. They were mixed with clay, a material far more fragile and susceptible to breaking. This combination represented a fourth kingdom, one that was strong yet inherently flawed. This kingdom was different from all that came before. It was the Roman Empire, a civilization that would leave an indelible mark on history. The Roman Empire was vast, stretching across continents and encompassing a multitude of cultures and peoples. The iron in its legs symbolized Rome's military might, a force that was nearly unstoppable. The Roman legions, disciplined and formidable, marched relentlessly across Europe and beyond, conquering lands and expanding the empire's reach. However, the presence of clay mixed with the iron hinted at a fundamental weakness within the Roman Empire. This weakness was not immediately apparent but would become more evident over time. Unlike the previous kingdoms, which were often unified by a single culture or ruler, Rome would face internal divisions that would challenge its stability. The Roman Senate, once a symbol of unity and governance, became a battleground for power struggles and political infighting. Leaders within the empire often found themselves at odds, leading to a lack of cohesive direction. This lack of unity would eventually lead to the fragmentation of the empire. The mixture of iron and clay represented the uneasy alliance between different factions within Roman society. Social, economic, and political tensions simmered beneath the surface, creating a fragile balance that was difficult to maintain. This fragile balance would not last forever. The once mighty Roman Empire, symbolized by the statue's legs of iron and clay, would eventually crumble under the weight of its internal conflicts and external pressures. The legacy of Rome, however, would endure, influencing countless generations to come. Section 5. The Mysterious Stone and its Crushing Blow. As Nebuchadnezzar listened intently, Daniel described the most enigmatic part of the dream. A single stone, seemingly insignificant, detached itself from a mountain without human intervention. This stone, imbued with unstoppable force, struck the statue's feet, shattering the iron and clay, reducing them to dust. The stone, Daniel explained, represented something entirely new, something radically different from the earthly kingdom symbolized by the statue. This was the kingdom of God, a kingdom not established by human hands, but by divine power. It would be a kingdom of righteousness, of justice, and of peace, a kingdom destined to endure forever. Section 6. Divine Judgment, the Hand of Destiny. The destruction of the statue by the stone, Daniel explained, symbolized the ultimate fate of all earthly kingdoms. No matter how powerful or enduring they may seem, they are all subject to the judgment of God. The stone, small but mighty, represented the irresistible power of God's kingdom, a kingdom that would ultimately triumph over all opposition. The fact that the stone was not cut by human hands emphasized that God's kingdom would not be established by human effort or ingenuity. It would be a supernatural intervention, a divine act that would usher in a new era. Section 7. A Kingdom Everlasting, God's Reign Supreme. Unlike the fleeting kingdoms of this world, the kingdom of God would be eternal, unshakable, and everlasting. It would be a kingdom where righteousness prevailed, where justice flowed like water, and where peace reigned supreme. This kingdom, Daniel prophesied, would fill the entire earth, bringing an end to conflict, oppression, and suffering. The stone that struck the statue grew into a massive mountain, filling the whole earth, symbolizing the all-encompassing nature of God's kingdom. It would not be limited to a single nation or people, but would embrace all who acknowledged God's sovereignty. Section 8. Lessons from the Dream, Humility, and Hope. In this section we delve into the profound lessons that can be drawn from the dream experienced by King Nebuchadnezzar, as interpreted by the wise Daniel. This dream, rich in symbolism and meaning, offers timeless insights into the nature of power, humility, and divine providence. Nebuchadnezzar, humbled by the dream and its interpretation, acknowledged the power of Daniel's God. This moment of humility was a turning point for the king, who had previously been consumed by his own pride and the grandeur of his empire. The dream revealed to him the transient nature of earthly power and the supremacy of the divine. He realized that his own kingdom, as magnificent as it was but a fleeting moment in the grand scheme of history. The towering palaces and the vast expanse of his realm, which once seemed invincible, were now seen in a new light. They were temporary, destined to be overshadowed by the passage of time and the unfolding of God's greater plan. The dream served as a stark reminder that true power and lasting glory belong to God alone. It was a divine message that no matter how great a human achievement might be, it pales in comparison to the eternal and unchanging nature of God's kingdom. This realization brought a sense of humility and reverence to Nebuchadnezzar, altering his perspective on leadership and legacy. For us today, Daniel's interpretation of the dream offers both a warning and a message of hope. It cautions us against the dangers of pride and the illusion of invincibility that often accompanies power. At the same time, it provides a hopeful vision of a future where justice and righteousness prevail. The dream's message transcends time, speaking to the core of human experience and the eternal truths of faith. It reminds us that earthly empires, no matter how powerful, will eventually crumble and fade. History is replete with examples of once great civilizations that have fallen into ruin, their legacies reduced to mere memories and archaeological remnants. This serves as a powerful reminder of the impermanence of human endeavors and the futility of seeking lasting glory through worldly means. Yet it also offers the hope of a kingdom that will never fade, a kingdom of justice, peace, and righteousness established by God Himself. This divine kingdom stands in stark contrast to the transient nature of human empires. It is a promise of eternal peace and justice, a beacon of hope for all who seek a better world. The dream of Nebuchadnezzar, as interpreted by Daniel, thus becomes a timeless lesson in humility and hope, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of our place in the grand tapestry of existence. Section 9, Conclusion, the enduring relevance of Daniel's prophecy. Daniel's interpretation of Nebuchadnezzar's dream stands as a timeless testament to the sovereignty of God. It reminds us that human history is not a random series of events but unfolds according to a divine plan. The rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of power all serve the ultimate purpose of establishing God's kingdom on earth. As we navigate the complexities of our own time, let us remember the lessons of the statue and the stone. Let us place our hope not in fleeting earthly powers but in the eternal kingdom of God, a kingdom of justice, peace, and righteousness that will endure forever.